A lot of folks here in the Panhandle are just really angry that no one consulted them, that they had no public input on whether or not these centers were going to be built. So we have to change that, because this is still a democracy, and folks in the community have a right to be able to have a say on whether or not these things are brought into their community. Yes.
I know that you had a lot to say about holding federal agents accountable and some things about immigration in general. Can you expand on some of the comments that you had during your speech, and also I know you spoke to having another type of agency. What do you make of the phrase apologize?
So, I was a teacher on the west side of San Antonio, and I taught a lot of undocumented students. And these students were my most patriotic students. They understood something about this country that a lot of us who are native born have forgotten. That this is supposed to be the land of opportunity. That this is supposed to be the place where dreams come true. And my students believed in this country, even when this country didn't always believe in them. And it's the fact that ICE is terrorizing my students and their families and their community members, it makes me sick to my stomach. And it's why we need to hold ICE accountable. It's why we need to take the funding that's been given to ICE and put it back into our communities where it belongs. And it's why we need to finally pass comprehensive immigration reform, because this is a deeply broken system. Texans understand immigration better than most people. Folks in El Paso understand immigration better than most people around the country, because we live with it every day, both the benefits and the challenges. So I want to see Texans lead on this issue. I want us to remake this broken immigration system in our own image. The simple analogy that I've used is that our southern border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front and a lock on the door, meaning we can welcome immigrants who want to come here and contribute to our economy, contribute to our communities, who want to make us richer and stronger, as immigrants have always done throughout American history. And we can keep out folks who mean to do us harm. If anyone commits a violent crime in this country, they should be deported immediately. But that's not what's happening right now. Instead of cracking down on cartels, we're cracking down on our communities. Instead of deporting gang members, we're deporting small business owners. Instead of hunting down human traffickers, we're hunting down moms and babies. So every law enforcement resource that is spent going after hardworking members of our community is law enforcement resources that aren't spent on going after folks who actually are a threat to public safety. So I think those are the contours of real comprehensive immigration reform that can honor our legacy as a nation of immigrants and our legacy as a nation of laws.
Thank you for meeting us and for being with our community today.
Yes.
Now, UTEP's student population consists of 84% Hispanic students, and 20 of them are first-generation college students. How would your policies directly impact first-generation students to break cycles of poverty, especially in the borderland? And what message do you have for generations who doesn't necessarily believe in governmental institutions and who are disillusioned with them?
Well, a lot of the work that I did in the state legislature was around helping young people be able to fulfill their God-given potential, no matter their zip code, no matter their skin color, no matter how much money their parents made. These were the students that I taught on the west side of San Antonio. And so not only do I want them to have a high-quality K-12 education, I want them to have every opportunity they deserve in higher education, whether they're going to a college or a university, whether they're going to a trade school, whether they're going to some career or technical education. We want to make sure that all kids in this state, regardless of their income, have the opportunities that they deserve. And that's especially true along the border, because we have a lot of smart, talented young people who grow up here in El Paso or in Laredo or in the Rio Grande Valley, who then feel like they have to leave these communities in order to succeed. They should be able to stay here and succeed, and that's going to require more investments in higher education. It's going to require more economic development and making sure that there are opportunities at home for those kids. And I know that Gen Z feels disillusioned with politics, rightfully so. That generation has been through a lot with the pandemic, with the political division in this country, with gun violence and climate change. All I would suggest is that disillusionment can be a superpower, because it can allow them to see clearly the problems in this country. All they've got to do is come together and take power back so that they can remake this broken system in their own image. And I think if we can do that in this race in 2026, we're going to fundamentally change not only the politics of Texas, but the politics of America.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.